Hello, everyone. Welcome to the News Browse News broadcast. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum has promised a thorough investigation into a tragic shooting incident at the popular Teotihuacan pyramids, which resulted in the death of one Canadian tourist and the wounding of another. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney expressed his gratitude to President Sheinbaum for her personal attention to the matter, offering his condolences to the victim's family and friends. Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand confirmed that her Mexican counterpart has pledged a swift inquiry into the death of the Canadian national, identified as 29-year-old Delicia Lee de Jong. Mexican authorities have identified the shooter as 27-year-old Julio Cesar Jasso, who reportedly died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The Canadian press reports that the incident involved a gunman opening fire on one of the pyramids, forcing dozens of tourists to seek cover. Ottawa is currently reviewing its travel advisory for Mexico, but remains in close contact with Mexican authorities. Prime Minister Mark Carney announced Tuesday that he has retooled Canada's Advisory Committee on Canada-U.S. Economic Relations. The committee, formerly known as the Council on Canada-U.S. Relations, established by former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau in January 2025, has been renamed the Advisory Committee on Canada-U.S. Economic Relations. Carney has expanded its membership to include a diverse group of high-profile individuals, such as former Conservative leader Erin O'Toole, former Liberal Cabinet Minister and High Commissioner to the UK Ralph Goodale, and former Conservative Cabinet Minister Lisa Wright. Other notable additions include former Nunavut Premier PJ, AK, AG, AA, and presidents and CEOs from major Canadian energy, resource, forestry, and transportation companies. The committee, chaired by Dominic LeBlanc, will provide crucial advice to the government as Canada prepares for the review of the Canada-United States-Mexico Agreement, CUSMA, in June. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre criticized Carney's approach, urging a push for a strategic mineral and oil reserve. This report is from City News Everywhere. Prime Minister Mark Carney has announced the formation of a new advisory committee focused on Canada-U.S. economic relations, with the CUSMA review on the horizon. The committee comprises a diverse group of leaders from business, labor, and former prominent politicians, including ex-Conservative leader Erin O'Toole and former Quebec Premier Jean Charest. Led by Minister Dominic LeBlanc, the committee's mandate is to develop strategies for strengthening Canada's economic partnership with the United States, aiming for greater certainty, security, and prosperity. The announcement comes amid ongoing trade discussions and a review of the CUSMA agreement. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has expressed his views on the Prime Minister's approach to these trade relations. This initiative from Radio-Canada International highlights the government's commitment to fostering a robust economic relationship with its southern neighbor. Peel Regional Police are investigating a series of tow truck arsons that occurred overnight in Brampton. According to Global News, the force reported that 3 separate fires broke out across 3 different locations within a 30-minute period early Tuesday morning. 3 tow trucks sustained damage as a result of the fires. Fortunately, no injuries were reported in connection with these incidents. The investigation into the arsons is ongoing. According to the Canadian press, some Canadian small businesses are now eligible to claim refunds for specific U.S. tariffs, often referred to as Liberation Day tariffs, that were recently deemed unconstitutional. These tariffs, typically levied at a rate of 35% on goods not compliant with the Canada-United States-Mexico trade agreement, were initially imposed by former President Donald Trump under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. The U.S. Court of International Trade ruled in March that companies were entitled to refunds, citing a previous Supreme Court decision that Trump overstepped congressional authority in setting import tax rates. Roughly 1/4 of affected Canadian exporters who acted as the importer of record could qualify for these rebates. The application system launched this week, requiring a U.S. Customs account and a U.S. bank account, with refunds expected within 60 to 90 days. However, separate tariffs on products like steel, aluminum, cars, and softwood lumber are not part of this refund process. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.